Wagwan generous.
All right, cool. I didn't even get to listen to our last episode before this. I feel like I should have listened to our last episode before this.
We don't got to backtrack.
Yeah, we don't got to backtrack.
We got to come from the present moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Different.
It won't be no problem. This hour is going to go by smoothly. Yeah. All right. Ready right now? Oh, shit. All right, this is the 159th episode of the Mental Threats Podcast. Sold up. I have the one, the only, Jeremy. What, your last name ain't Washington. I used to call you Washington by accident.
What you mean? It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, Jeremy Washington. What did I say before then? I said Williams once, I think.
Williams? When did you ever say that?
Because, like, when I tried to post up your first episode, I think I put Jeremy Williams. I think I had to correct it. I think it's all coming back. Jeremy Washington.
Man.
Jeremy Washington.
Man, last name.
Oh, man. Yeah, no problem. How do you pronounce my last name?
Sapphire.
It's the feeling. It's the feeling.
Okay.
It's no problem. Okay. See, that's not the kind of friendship. Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, you do it. It's just whatever. Okay, we're here for the Mental Threats Podcast. This is Jeremy's second outing on the Mental Threats Podcast. For the first episode, I forget what number episode we did, but I know it was in the first season. First season, second season, I remember. And I remember the first time I even got in contact with the podcast, it was for your podcast. I recall. That was the first time we ever did a podcast. And we were talking about a whole lot of heavy stuff about society and everything, especially a whole about, like, the dating field and everything like that. Weird thing, does it feel like it's getting worse and worse now?
In the dating field?
Yes.
I feel like it's not getting worse. It's just we have to adapt to the new. Because it's not the same in economy. It's not the same environment that our grandparents, great-grandparents grew up in.
And parents.
Yeah, and parents, really.
So it's very recent.
And then on top of that, even with parents, we want to do it differently than our parents a lot of times. A lot of us are not coming from a structure that we want to replicate. Some of us want to change it, so we want to do something that we hadn't even seen yet.
Yeah, honestly, that's actually a weird take, because I don't think I've heard of that take before. We are trying to change the structure a whole lot of things and everything. Although there's a part of us or something that might claim I want a husband or I want a wife and blah blah blah, but you're not living like you want that though. And it's it's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, just be consistent, And that's just kind of how my view of this. If you want to be like a podcast host, okay, we got this. You got to start from doing audio. Then it's just doing a couple more episodes, and then now we're doing it live. So it's just I feel like it's just depending on what you invest in terms of what your values are. If you value something consistent and authentic, shouldn't you also be consistent and authentic at the same time?
Right. So being honest on what you want, even when going out there. I think what's a huge notation is if you're single, just be single. You don't gotta play with people's feelings. You know, you don't gotta say you looking for a relationship, all that dating. Everybody dates differently too. I don't think there's a standard. I think we're trying to find a standard or something to track. Yeah. And then immediately, I think a lot of times we also go to religion for that.
Okay, yeah.
And we look at religion for a dating advice for this end all be all.
Yeah.
In some cases. I think it's just, listen to your heartbeat, see what you got going on. Everybody not at the same frequency, looking for the same thing at the same time.
But you say that people should probably seek out for something in terms of frequency, maybe something more similar or something that just kind of balances out, or just whatever works best for them.
Feeding into what you said, it's really about what works best for what you're at that time. Mm-hmm. If you're not ready for a commitment, to be committed with one person, if you're not into committing with one person, why are you not saying, you know what, okay, well, let me see what this lifestyle is about.
Yeah.
And if that fits me for this lifestyle. But continuing to look for this one standard, I think that because things are so publicized and you can see all these different perspectives and perceptions of life, it can get stressful now with tech. Because now with tech, you're looking at all the, wait, am I doing it the right way? This person saying this, so the majority is putting likes and comments on this. So is that how it's supposed to be moving?
Yeah, so it's it's very skewed in terms of what's real and what's fantasy and whatnot. And I feel like that's in the social media age, I feel like it's becoming more and more apparent that we can't seem to separate fantasy from what's reality. Because for instance, even with Ice Spice, for instance, people would always hate on Ice Spice and be like, oh yeah, your numbers went down. Ain't nobody like you no more. And then when she actually go to a concert, it'd be sold out. So I'm just like, okay, so then like, what are the numbers for real? What's the difference between like, okay, this is reality and like all this social media stuff? Like, where do we separate it at, basically? You know, it's just, I feel like that's one of our biggest obstacles. But we want to go deeper on this. Like, let's just try to like really introduce like properly for real. I go back with this guy for many years. I want to say 2017.
I low-key feel like it was like peak 2016.
Yeah, maybe end of 2016, maybe 2017. I'm going to say 2017 because I feel like that's when I was really separating from a lot of people that weren't good for me. And like that started in 20. And that's when I started meeting, y'all through like, Trevin, shout out Trevin. And also meeting you and Jacory and everything. I remember the first time I met you, I think it was at, what's that, Freedom Park? I think it was Freedom Park or something. Sugar Creek Park. It was at Sugar Creek Park, I think. It was raining, remember? I think it's just like, and we were all trying to smoke out there. It was like, now it's coming back. Now it's coming back. I think Caleb Baylor was out there too. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Whoa.
Now it's all coming back, right?
Whoa.
So many memories. That was
There's
a weird
lot that's been going on.
No, seriously. That was at the time when I was driving the Lincoln. I was driving a whole Lincoln during that time.
No, for sure.
So I was driving a Lincoln. So it was definitely 2017.
Bruh.
Yeah. Yeah, like it just came back to you, right? Because we were smoking. We were getting high. That's why I was playing.
There was a lot of good times of that, though.
For me, though, like when I get high, though, I don't know. It just, like, there's be core memories that just kind of stick with me. I don't know what about it. Because it'd be so far in between. So it's just like, But, yeah, that's where it pretty much started. It was like, was it a hot summer day? I remember it was raining. We had to get on the tables. The actual,
the underhouse.
The little gazebo looking joint. It'd be like on the lunch tables, and we had to stand on top because it was so wet at the bottom, and it was just like it was the Charlotte weather, man. Like it was just flooding. It was just good all day, and then flooded, and then it was back to being good. It was
and that's some country stuff to do though. Smoking in the woods.
No, seriously.
That's just you in the country. Like, what are we really doing?
We were just vibing, bro. That's one thing like I miss about like being younger, bro. It's just oh, you want to just hang out? Yeah, sure. Let's just hang out. But now it's just careers start pouring in and everything and stuff. And it's just, although it is a blessing to grow and still get opportunities and everything and focus on where you're going next and just trying to be as comfortable as possible. It's just looking back at those times and everything where we can just just vibe, just hang out. What if I was just showing up at one of your boxing matches or wherever we're going to pull up at Markel's event? You remember Markel, right, with the glasses and everything, and then
he teaching now too.
Yeah, all our friends are teachers now. All our friends are teachers, bro. It's so crazy. Jacory's a coach and teacher. Freaking Markel's the teacher. I know one girl named Deja that became a teacher.
Teachers.
Yeah, Fiend for Deja. You ever heard Fiend for Deja?
I might.
You might have probably seen her. Yeah, I had her on the podcast too and everything.
Okay.
Probably had to show her too, because she actually also is a teacher as well. It's just coming back to me how many people are actually like becoming teachers. Yeah. It's really blowing, but it's like it kind of makes some teachers actually like I don't want to say a dope job, but it's just like it seems like a job that certain people. Oh yeah, this is her, by the way.
Not familiar, but it's okay.
Okay, still not familiar. It's no problem. But anyway, it's just things like that. It's just giving service to people, connecting to kids, and just pretty much just showing them like the way and everything. With our generation, considering how we're not too far removed from like the last one and everything, I feel like a lot of us would kind of have strength and actually fill in the blanks of where a lot of our teachers failed. And everything,
And I'm actually very happy. I want to give a applaud to all the teachers out there that's becoming teachers, because honestly, it does have to continue somewhere. It's one of those society responsibilities, like one of those base fundamental responsibilities that they're choosing to fill. So shout out to y'all. Try to be a better teacher than your last teacher.
No, seriously, nah, for real. Yeah, man, teachers really do have like a big impact. I don't want to say a big impact, but they do have some influence over your life. I know you went to West Charlotte with Jacory and everything. Did Trevin go there for a while, or no, he didn't? Oh, so it was just you and Jacory that went there, and y'all were in the same grade.
No, he wasn't in the same grade.
What grade was Jacory in?
I think he was in a grade higher than me.
Oh, and you're in the grade.
Yeah.
Y'all still hung out and stuff like that. Just say fuck it.
Of course, man, all my years.
Dude, how was West Charlotte though? Because it's like I be thinking like, dang, all my friends and all the people I like went to West Charlotte and everything. Like, what was the day to day like at West Charlotte?
I mean, this was the last of the original school, so it's like you have one of those outdoor campuses. You know, your school is half indoor, half outdoor. You got trailers. You got a big campus, and you on one of the busiest 24/7 streets, Betty's Ford Road. So it's just like it's a beautiful experience because I think that even a lot of the teachers, a lot of the coaches, the students, they keep it very real in a sense where it was like folk really wasn't focused on facades, like you saw stuff for what it was. Teachers didn't sugarcoat with you, office members, all of that. Like there was no sugarcoating, so it was beautiful to see. I think that they taught more life lessons, because even I would say like a lot of schools didn't have. I don't think really have it like that anymore. But they even had CTE programs where it's like. So they had like, you know, girls being able to get their hairstylist license.
Really?
In high school, yeah, we had a carpentry class. I was actually in carpentry class. Talking about like learning how to use power tools, learning how to set up streets, learning the foundation of a house. And there was other programs outside of that. And so it was just like cool to see them still kind of pushing out like, no, we want to push you out to be prepared to pass survival, like find a way.
Yeah, that seems like more of a West Side vibe for sure. Because it's like, you know, I got a lot of family on West Side too. Like my aunt live on West Side, not too far from you or Jacory. So sometimes I swing by, I'll be like, hey, yo, y'all free right? Somebody want to swing by. But it's just like, yeah, just stuff like that. I don't know. I feel more at home on the West Side. I'm an East Side dude and everything, but it's like, bro, I don't know them niggas. I really don't. I know a couple of them niggas, but I ain't close to them like that, really. Like, it's just like when I think about people, like, you know, that I'm more like, I feel more close to, it'd be like West Side. Because it's like, I even worked at Walmart, you know, the Walmart on Wilkinson and everything at night and everything. So it's just being around a lot of people on that end, it just seems like, it's not just comfortable. It just seems like, okay, like, I belong on this side. That's why I really hope to have like a family member that stayed on the West while I was growing up. So it's just like, you know, maybe I could probably like bunk with them and probably go to CMS school in that area and everything like that. You know, because like I went to my home school was Garinger, and I didn't even get to go. I had my folks made me go to Queens Grant. That's where I met Trevin at. Yeah, I hated it.
How was it? Like, what was the population?
It was very small. My graduating class, I think, was like 60 people. It wasn't even a lot of people, bro. And you would think like, okay, maybe we're just closer, but it's like, bro, nah, it's heavy disrespectful, bro. Because they be all thinking like they know you like that when they don't know you at all like that, bro. And then they just be doing all types of. It was like a weird mixture of like, you know, some of the bad kids that like a lot of Vance or other schools of CMS would kick out and everything.
They would end up there?
Yes. And then it's just like the really like snobby kids that just didn't want to get bullied at CMS kind of went there. So they would kind of like act like jerks over there, you know, to kind of make up, you know, it's just, switch up. Yeah, just so they would kind of like, it was like a weird response. And then there's the people in the middle that just want to just vibe and just kind of chill. I feel like I was more in that inclined and everything, and like those like the quote unquote popular kids that weren't even really popular. They were just like, they weren't even known. They were just like light skin. Like that's basically what it was, bro. Or their parents just bought them all hella shoes or new things, so they were like automatically, you know. That's when Chris Brown and Drake was like at their highest. So it's like if you look similar, you were the it factor, right there. So it's just really, it was just a lot of the people that were just like borderline retarded. I'm gonna just go off on that.
And you know what's crazy though? Like we step outside in this world, and it's like we gotta really take people for who they are.
Yeah.
Because you did not know what class they was in back in school.
No, for
There'd
real.
be some people that was a little slower.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because they just had. I think it's really just learning. They need different learning curves. Because I've seen like anybody that's special needs, I always interact with them like regular.
Yeah.
Because it's like they still get it. Like you still talk to him on a frequency.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like you met like some like real special kids that's like, you know, they don't really speak well. Like they speak kind of different.
Yeah, I ain't talking about them. They're cool, really. But everybody there was just, I don't know. They were just lames, bro. on the brink. Like really, I wouldn't wish nobody to go there, bro. You especially, you would have hated it. I know for a fact. You and Jacory would have gotten to fights every day. I could actually see it in my mind right now. I can just step back and be like, that's not my vibe and everything. But I feel like you and Jacory would have y'all would have bust some heads. Like, seriously.
That's the thing, though. I think West Charlotte forced it out of you. Where it's like, you would fight because you like somebody. Like, you be cool with somebody and y'all still just get down, just get the scrap.
And that's cool.
Bro, no.
Like, niggas, like, get lucky in a fight or get, like, one punch in them, bro, will talk shit for, like, months on end. Like, bro, the whole crew, like, ain't none of them niggas ever got punched in their face not once talking about all that shit, bro. Like, it just wasn't the vibe, bro. That's why, like, when I hear, like, y'all went to West Shore, like, bro, what was it like day to day, bro? It feel like, was it just, like...
In the day-to-day, I mean, it was like everybody was doing their own thing. Like, you had very much so the categories. Like, people was... in different they vibes, they categories, you feel me?
Yeah.
You got something, he been selling dope.
And that's all right. Do what you gotta do.
That's what I'm saying. But like, it's just like, and they have a different connection with the school, boom, boom, boom. Then you got star-studded, academically gifted kids. That's like, you don't be seeing them, but then you see them. It was so crazy. They'll be so, because they would still be hanging out with everybody. But it was like, throughout the day, they go into their classes at different times, different classes. And
AP kids.
Yeah, AP, IB kids. Yeah. They always like, that was their people. Like, that was, we all don't feel it. But then they would interact at certain events, They might be on a sports team, or you might catch them at lunch, yeah. Then you got, what I'm saying, your regular athletes. You know what I'm saying? It's nice. Well, Charlotte got some gifted athletes.
I bet.
Where it was just like, there was some nice athletes. They gonna do their thing. So I mean, it was just like you had all these categories, and then you kind of find your niche. And then even if it wasn't niche, like, cause I was personally one that was like, I was intertwined with so many different groups, but I was always just still me. And
you were just a free bird. You were just kind of you're just cool with everybody type shit.
I wouldn't even say that.
Not everybody, but it's just like, you didn't discriminate, basically, is what I'm saying.
I didn't discriminate, and then two, it was just more like, I can't, if you see me, you can't, I'm not a person that you could associate with somebody and be like, oh, you see Jeremy, you see blah, blah, blah. Like, how there's people like, who it's like they might have a right-hand man, a right-hand girl.
Yeah,
or they might have their group
weird.
Where it's like, that if you call out for that person, oh, you seen bruh? And then you might know their partner and be like, hey, let me ask them if they know where Burr is, because you know that 90% of the time they be together, 95% of the chance. Yeah. Never like that.
Yeah.
Dolo.
That was weird in high school. Like, how you gotta be? It's okay to be cool people. Like, there was somebody I carpooled with and everything. And that's like my brother. He just had a baby a while ago. Shout out to Ziggy and everything. And it's just stuff like that. There are people that you're just close with and you just always kick it with. But I feel like there's people that feel like they need, in order to survive, they need to be around somebody else and be under them all the time and everything. And they just kind of think they're hot shit because they're next to that person all the time. I don't know. I always found those people kind of creepy to me, but it's just like, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just like, what they say, your net worth is your network. Your network is your net worth.
That is true.
And it's like, a lot of the times, the people in my network, we don't know what we're doing all the time, but they motivate me. They make me want to do better. They let me know when something ain't right. And so then it's just like crazy. Like, if somebody like always 24/7 around, how could we have I feel like you gotta be working together if y'all together that much. But then there'll be people who's like, y'all ain't even working together. Y'all each other downfall.
That's what I like about our little group, because everybody had their own thing, doing it. Like, if I'm doing like, the music thing, or you're doing like the modeling thing, or Jacory was doing like the football thing, and then Trevin doing his thing. Doing his thing. He does a lot of things. I'm just yeah, but it's just stuff like that. But it's just like, it never just felt like we needed one another just to kind of like feel like we mattered, or that we all had our own group of people on top of that too. Like, yeah, we interact, or we had our own networks as well. But at the same time, it was just like, we had our own purposes and things that we was focused on. I don't know. I never really felt like too highly for people that just had no identity unless they were attached to somebody else. You know what I mean? I feel like, your identity is very, very crucial to you as an individual and everything. And it's just like I feel like that's kind of what's lacking in Charlotte. You know, people don't want to just step out and just be them. And so it's just like, you know, you have cities, major city like LA or even St. Louis or Miami or New York, very great vacation hubs and everything. But I feel like it all grew from just people who wanted to be entrepreneurs, like idealists, to try to make their ideas come to fruition. And then, you know, although we're very much a growing city, I just feel like sometimes like we don't really emphasize much on the creativity side or support the creativity side as much as I wish. You know, like what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's growing now that there's more movement in the city from other people, and that is bringing a different version of Charlotte, because at the same time, Charlotte still never has had a solid footprint on what Charlotte specifically does, unless we're just talking regular economics and banking city, corporate jobs.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. But outside of that, we ain't known for no Philly cheesesteak, no nothing like that. We don't got that. We don't got those here. Like it's like a baby city.
we got NASCAR.
Well, I mean, and NASCAR is like, that's a North Carolina thing.
Yeah,
like, I don't think people gonna necessarily think of like Charlotte. They gonna think of like them country motherfuckers in North Carolina. They be on so NASCAR, but it's like they don't look at Charlotte like that. I mean, it used to be CIAA when we had CIAA.
They took that
like,
shit. They went to Chicago with that shit. You know how shitty you gotta be for them to go to Chicago.
That was like about the only thing in the city where it's like, oh, I gotta pull up to Charlotte, you know. Everybody coming to Charlotte, flooding Charlotte for CIAA weekend.
Yeah, Young Dolph. I think Jeezy was out for CIAA as well. Drake brought up CIAA like for Dreamville last time he performed there. I was like, oh yeah, North Carolina, y'all had CIAA, right?
You know what I'm saying? So like when it comes down to it, I think it's a beautiful thing because it is allowing artists to have a chance to put a fresher footprint in the city that can be known for generations to come. So I think that part is something that's like unreal to see in front of the eyes growing up in Charlotte, because people coming into Charlotte, they're seeing a beauty in that too. You know what I mean? And even me, like I say, I wake up every day and it's like, this is not the same city I grew up in.
Yeah,
it's still, everything look different to me every day I walk outside.
And that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you see it, really, to be honest. I feel like it's a wonderful thing because it's like all these things are just growing and all these different apartments, and you think, okay, there's more people, like we have more people in Charlotte than we do in Atlanta. Like we eclipsed Atlanta's population like a while ago. I want to say like back 2016, 2014, even before that possibly. And it's just people don't even realize that we're actually bigger than Atlanta in terms of populace. Maybe not in you know what I'm talking about. Relevancy as much, but it's just at the same token, it's just, as a Southern metropolitan. I feel like it's a wonderful thing because a lot of people are coming here into Charlotte to make a life for themselves, and it's just like it's like one of those cities where it's like. Where it's like an underdog city, where I've said multiple times on multiple episodes of the podcast already, but it's just like, you know, we're still waiting for that big wave to kind of carry over. You know, I feel like the baby kind of put it out there, you know, like, okay, yeah, like he was on SNL and he was doing a whole lot of things, although he quote unquote got canceled and then, you know, kind of slowed down a bit. But it's just like I'm still in support of him. You know, next thing that drops out, next album, next mixtape, I'll be bumping it as whatever. You know, it is what it is. And whether you agree with what he does or whatever, it's just like he did the due diligence to make his brand grow to the point where it's actually put eyes on Charlotte. And it's like I feel like we need to really embrace that. We need to start putting more artists, I don't want to say on a pedestal, but it's like put more spotlight on them to create more faces in Charlotte, to create more interest in the Charlotte. More interest means more revenue. More revenue means more value, means more opportunities, means more events. It means we could probably bring back something similar to a CIAA or maybe a festival or something. J. Cole did the Dreamville Fest in Raleigh, in a big old field in Raleigh, and it was consistent for years. Even like the first one was right before COVID. Then we had to wait 2 years, and then they came right back after COVID, and it's just that they kept consistent sense, and it's just like, you know, you can do it. You know, you could be from North Carolina, or you could be, you know, an artist like, you know, how Nelly was from the Midwest and everything. You can still become like someone of great importance if your talent and your work ethic can follow in consistency. And that's just something I believe on that front and everything.
So, do you think that artists shouldn't move around?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Okay.
That helps the city
Yeah.
because that's one of the sad truths about Charlotte. It's just like we're just kind of like a follower city in a sense. So it's just like once you're bumping somewhere else, once somebody from another city puts a light on you, or in another city like Atlanta, say, "Oh wow, that guy from Charlotte or whatever, you heard of him?" Oh yeah, we actually have heard of him. They probably ain't even look at your Spotify or nothing, but because of that connection to Charlotte, they'll be willing to hop on because of that. So hey, whatever works, it's fine. But it's like, yeah, definitely get out there as best as you can, because that helps, Charlotte as well. See Charlotte as like a big hive, and it's just like sometimes you got to step away from the hive to get more pollen for the honey, and that's just it. Just getting more pollen for the honey. That's how I see it.
I can see that. I mean, as a creator myself, I gotta say my journey within meeting other creators, all of that, has been wonderful, just because of the fact that it's me being myself. And that's the part that has attracted the people who I should create with.
That is true.
We're able to make dope art. Not only make dope art, but make dope connections.
That is true.
Where I'm meeting some of the most genuine people too, that's sitting there. Like, when you talk about having your name in rooms that you're not even in,
they'll do it.
It's about having relationships with people now that it's like, dang, you would really put my name in the room. Like, you really said you coming in with this opportunity. Or you texted me saying, hey, look, I got this book for boom, boom, boom. What? Word? Okay, cool.
They ain't got no problem.
And so that's the part where I'm like, I'm seeing creatives as like, and honestly, I would say everybody in that circle winning right now. Like, doing our thing. Everybody doing their thing respectively. Yeah. And it's all love. And not only that, but got dope stuff coming. And so I'm just like, okay, I don't see the crab in the barrel mindset here. That's what I was saying, because it's like, I think that it is a point where a lot of creators are hitting the point where it's like, no, we want to see whatever you do, we want to see you win at it.
That's what
it's gonna be challenging, but we want to see you win.
That's the basis of being a creative, though. Like, you got to vibrate at a higher frequency to create something original. God's whole frequency is literally being like love and creation. We're all God's creation on top of that. See, so to tap into like that creator frequency, I don't want to say you're tapping into being a god, but it's like it's something similarity to God to an extent. It's just like it's godly. Not like, oh yeah, you're a god, but it's godly to that extent. When you create something that other people can like enjoy and like, have an appreciation for, whether it be music, like for a lot of like our people in the struggle in America, even though we were held in bondage for so many years, we've created country music, blues, jazz, hip hop, and I already said country, right? And just R&B and stuff like that, all out of just, just our emotions and everything, and just really getting others to like emphasize with that emotion through a product, you know what I mean? And so it just follows through with inventions and stuff like that. And it's just like, that's just people who are free of ego and everything when it comes to being like a creative and everything. It's never going to be a competition. The word competition doesn't even exist. Like, I was just at an event called it was like a Brat show or something. I don't know what it was called, but whatever. It was an event that my homie Sam DeNovo, who I've interviewed on this podcast as well, he invited me to come to. And I was like, I bought my ticket on Eventbrite to support, and I pulled up and everything. And it's just like everybody just roots. There are people that like I've never seen perform and everything, and I'm connecting with them and I'm networking with them. And it just keeps going forward. And it's just like the momentum just carries and carries and carries. Just imagine if it just matures, like how far it's going to get by the end of this decade. It's just like, you don't focus on like who's doing better than me or why this didn't work out for me or why this person did this. It's just like all I get is inspired, and that's the only energy that you should draw from when creating something. Inspiration, the love of the work ethic that comes with it. Look how far I've come with this podcast, man. Look what I'm doing, bro. I have a whole banner and a thing on the table that I just got off the website. Yes, just because I need to get this done. I need to knock this off. I need to hold this on the side until I find some place to record. And now I found a place to record, and now I'm making it happen. You just got to set that priority for yourself. And that's what creatives are. We're so focused and so locked in that it's like we're not distracted by our ego, and that's just how I see it, basically, you know. But back on to you, like with your experiences being like a creative, I know like your field is mostly modeling, correct? And that's like your only field, or is there anything else you like to do?
Modeling, going to acting.
Yeah.
I'm going to, hey, look, whatever you need. The limit is I might be a stunt double.
Okay.
We don't know. But like, no, like really in that field, as in like going into, because really modeling a lot of time leads into acting in a lot of cases. But with it, it's something that, like I said, it's been something I've been doing my whole life. And it was just already being put upon me. And I was always getting that reminder where I was always getting people coming to me speaking about, hey, you should model. Do you model? Do you model? Do you model? And it just like would keep going on repeat. And I wasn't worried about that. I'm trying to figure out which ways I can get to this bread. Like, I'm like, this is not that right now. Like, y'all keep telling me about modeling. I'm trying to figure out how to make sure these bills okay. Like, I'm not really worried about modeling right now. And then, but one time it just clicked when I was on the path of like, okay, I'm about to up my bag. I'm finna do something else. Something has to give. Like, I need to do something else to get this creative bug out. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna intentionally model this next whole year. I'm just gonna intentionally just be intentional about being a model. Do whatever it take, you know what I'm saying? See how, you know, how to build it, how to get started. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I'm gonna tell you that came from homegirl Autumn. She's big on modeling.
Shout out Autumn.
Yeah, no, for real.
Don't know her, but I feel like I will soon.
I'll show you. And that part, I remember I was working at my my flower child spot at the time cooking. She just came in. She's like, Jeremy, is that you? I'm like, yeah. It's like, why are you here? You should be modeling. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, yeah, okay. And it was just like one of them times where it clicked, because it's somebody that I seen them take the modeling game to far away. So I'm sitting there like, okay, if they telling me this the type of rooms they've been into, this is what they've been seeing. They seeing the quality. And it's like, I'm looking at myself like, okay, you know what, right? I heard this all the time. By this time, I think it's just a thing I need to stop fighting God. Like, I need to stop fighting what's ordained. So I said, okay, let me jump into it. Let me be intentional. Let me start working. Ever since I started, it's been just going effortlessly.
I've seen. You're doing a wonderful job.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you.
Hope to see you in the next Black Panther movie.
I appreciate you, brother. But
Speaking in existence.
Yes, and it's like, that's now where I'm trying to figure out where I can, I should say, upgrade myself. Like, what I need to do to be a better model, be a better human, be a better actor if that's what I need to do, musician if that's what I need to do. Because there's so many artistic pursuits that just this path has inspired me to do by being around others, people's different creations. It gets that energy where you're like, okay, I want to create something. Now I'm just being open as a creative. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see.
I feel like, and trying to figure out, like, where to go, like, how to get your creative bug out, it just kind of bounces back to your nature. Like, for instance, like, my nature, like, I'm naturally just an amicable type individual. Like, I generally want to be cool with everybody. Not like, oh, yeah, please be my friend type stuff. But it's like, I don't have no issues internally that would make me not want to be cool with anybody else. And then on top of that, it's just like, I don't want to say a way with words, but it's just like there's certain ways about language that I feel like there's an expression in language that you can use that I find really poetic. And that's just like where I like to do poetry and everything and learn different words. Like, I used to be the type to like write down 10 words a day, something I just never seen, like a sabbatical or, things like, it's just like, what's another word I don't use? Like, salutations. I use salutations a lot in my language, and people are like, why use that word? Like, why can't just say hi? But there's just something about it. Like, you can say hi, like say hey, and then it's just like, okay, like whatever. When you say stuff like salutations, it sounds more informal. It just sounds like, you're willing to say something that after the salutation is followed with a couple lines of something like inspirational or something that you should really, pay attention to or focus. That's where I pretty much, but it's just stuff like that. And then, it's just, I get very much inspired, or I just really, music seems to just take me to a whole nother world when I put on some earphones or whatever. And I like to speak to people. And, you know, my brother describes me as an extrovert. I don't really see it. I see myself as more like an ambivert. But it's just like, at the same token, it kind of reflects to just doing stuff like podcasting or my music and things like that, or just doing poetry and stuff like that. It just kind of bounces off to your nature, and just like the strongest parts of your nature are just going to reveal itself through your what you produce. And I feel like that's what I say. If you're an angry person, you know, you might get a couple of domestic, you know, charges on you, or you might be able to channel that energy into maybe a very fruitful boxing career. Mike Tyson was an angry kid. People messed with his pigeon, he messed them up. He found Customato, and then he set up on a path to being one of the most iconic, you know, boxers we know of today. And that's standard, where it's just like, oh man, if Mike Tyson punched me, I'm going to sleep. Like, it's just like, you know, you see it. You be paying like $60 to watch him on pay-per-view. The guy gets slumped in like 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, like a second sometime. And that's stuff of legend, you know. And that's just that God frequency, you know, really bringing things of an idea or ideal, realizing it to reality. And that's what brought him from being an angry kid with pigeons to one of the many world heavyweight champion greats and most iconic world heavyweight champion greats to look back to. And that's just how I see it. So it's just like, you know, what would you describe in your nature that leads you through your creative path?
That's a great question.
We asked some good ass questions on this podcast, bro. Mental threads, we're sewing it up.
Yeah. For real. Okay, on my path.
It ain't got to be like your path, but it's just like looking into your nature, like your personality. What are some things aspects about your personality that just kind of bring you to like modeling or acting or whatever?
I would say it would definitely be the charisma. I'm going to say that out first.
Charisma's good.
I would say that just because I'm very adaptable. I think just how I was raised, different environments, different situations I've been through, it makes me very adaptable. So it's like I could come in and I can do the things that other people wouldn't want to do. So, because when it's showtime, when you see cameras, when you see lights, when you see action, and there's a crowd out in front, all of that, like, it's just being able to perform during those times. And that's something that I have in a tip where going in and saying, okay, it's lock-in time, it's time to perform. I want to make, you know, not only this, whoever I'm serving at the time, whoever I'm serving that's showing they styles, boom, boom, boom. I want to make sure their stuff looks good. And I want to make sure that I, you know, look good. I'm making sure that I'm put on a good show and that I'm on my way to being better than I thought I could be.
Okay.
You know, beating the doubter in my head. So I would say, yeah, that's definitely one of the big parts. Just being able to be in the present as well. Because it with that type of job, doing modeling or acting, all that type of stuff, like there's not, you have to become. There's not no acting. Like, same thing with the boxing. Yeah. When I would do boxing, I can't play boxing. Yeah. Anytime I step in there, no, there's no holds barred. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it. There's no play. There's not no foul. There's not no none of that. So it's just it's keeping that same thing, which I think even how we speak earlier, that's hard for a lot of people to do. Is to just do.
Just do, you know, that's true. Really set things in motion for it to come into, I don't know, realize it, basically, just to realize it. And, you know, I feel like what really helps about your aspect with acting is, like, I feel like you're a very empathetic person as well. I don't know if it's just maybe because you're a Cancer or whatever, but it's just stuff like that. You know, to be an actor, you basically, when playing these characters or getting into character, you have to actually relate to like what that person might be feeling, even if it's somebody completely different from you. You know, you could be like a horrible person, like a villainous type character, but just kind of emphasize with their motivations, what makes them them. Why would this person do this? Why would this person think like this? Why would this person, you know, basically move like this, and that's why I really, really enjoy Al Pacino as an actor, because it's just like when you see him through the Godfather series, people think like, oh yeah, the Godfather kind of boring, or it's like it insists on itself. I love the Godfather because with Vito Corleone, the original Godfather from the first movie and everything, there were so many parts to him as an individual that made him successful as a Godfather that it just kind of spread out throughout his children. Okay, like Sonny Corleone was a hothead, so it's like obviously that's like, okay, his strength basically it went into Sonny, his eldest son, and then Fredo, who was like the weaker son. Okay, yeah, but he was a very considerate and compassionate, empathetic type person, and that's what carried him to being very successful and getting respect amongst his community as well as a Godfather. And then the more cerebral side of him, okay, it passed on to Miguel Corleone, which is played by Al Pacino. But although it was very effective, and it's like, yeah, that's probably the most important part to actually becoming a boss or a mob boss. You had to be very cerebral in your decisions you make. However, Michael didn't really have so much, and although he did build up the strength over time, he didn't have the heart that the way say a Fredo would have, because Fredo didn't really have the mind either, so he would make a bunch of stupid decisions, but he still had heart for his family and everything. So it's like, over the Godfather films, you see while not having heart is gonna really like kind of cut back into you with him having issues with his wife, his family. Can't really seem to develop his family in a way, like outside of just the mob family, but his personal family, his wife and his kids. Like now there's issues going on within that dynamic and everything that leads to fights and stuff like that, and it's just issues from the family. He had to murder his own brother just to ensure like the family does well. You see, to just go that metamorphosis from not having anything to do, excuse me one second, nothing to do with the family, and wanted to go to be like a war veteran, whatever. And then now it's like you're a complete mob boss. You see it from just like his travels from it, seeing his father grow ill, wanting to be able to just help his father, and then killing for his father and going back to his home in Italy and Sicily especially, falling in love with an Italian girl, and then like for them killing that Italian girl and everything. That's gonna do some things to you. Now you have a new identity out of that. So it's like I feel like Al Pacino really, really kind of he really gives it into that character of Miguel Corleone, to like where it's just like, bro, like you're so locked into this character and everything until you, to the point you will watch The Godfather over and over again, not just for that character, but multiple characters. It's just a masterpiece. So it's just like, I'm very much a cinema, as you can tell.
I love that. I love that.
And it's just something to look into too. Next time you want to check the Godfather movies as well, it's just something that, because I know you say you have interested in getting into acting. I want to get into acting too. But it's just understanding the science between, like really portraying a character and really understanding the weight of the character and like what their motivations is to like the narrative of the story and what it plays into. It's like it's very important to really, really catching the audience and really catching their attention to a point where they're just so locked in they don't even focus on anything else around them. So it's just it's such a wonderful thing to that regard. I was really much a drama buff back in high school. I used to be drama. That was one of my favorite subjects.
That's smooth, no, because that's what it's about. Because even before that, the actors, they have to get in that same zone on the actual set to project that set to the others. Mm-hmm. So it's just like you said, like getting into that. That's why I say also a lot of actors struggle with mental health issues.
That is
same
true.
way like musicians.
Heath Ledger
too, like that.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, like because and then not only that, but sometimes you'll hear actors speak about certain movies that they did that specific character that they had to tune in mess with their mental.
Yeah,
because that's a full-time job as you're talking about, where you're like studying a personality, you're studying a person and altering how you move daily to make sure that you can naturally be this person as possible as you can. Like there's some type movies and stuff where it's like they obviously want you to know. I feel like some movies put out bad acting on purpose.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a part of the plot, but like real good acting, like
Yeah, no, seriously. Like stuff like the Godfather movies, Taxi Driver, which I need to watch again. That's the one with Robert De Niro. And Al Pacino in Heat. That was really, really good too. Al Pacino and Scarface. Loved it. And it's just like, going outside of that, Denzel Washington. And my first favorite Denzel Washington movie was John Q. And also, I love John Q. I'm sorry. I was just so locked out. I was like, "Damn, he's gonna get his son a new heart," and then he ended up going to jail at the end. But it was still pretty crazy. Although a lot of people didn't like that movie, I love that movie. John Q, Training Day, Malcolm X. Yeah, those are my go-to three right there. I know there's others like I think Glory, where it's like he was fighting like in the Civil War and everything as well. And he has a lot of movies. He has a lot of movies. And Book of
Crazy.
Eli, I think. Was that him? A Book of
That
Eli?
wasn't him.
That wasn't who's in Book of Eli?
That wasn't Denzel.
Who was in Book of
Eli.
Eli? Shit, that's fucking me up. Hold up, let me look it up real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna look it up. I feel so bad. I gotta keep checking up things.
I don't
Like
feel
this,
good.
people watch like,
Ain't
I know
that-
this
ain't
nigga
that
didn't
what,
say Book of Eli.
Ain't that what Joe Rogan do?
No, no.
You know,
Yeah,
they
oh yeah,
search
he
up
does.
everything. He search up everything.
I think it was him. Yeah, he was in it. He was Eli.
He was.
Yes, I got it. I was right.
That's good. I never even watched it.
I think Mila Kunis is in that movie. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't watch it either. I just know that he's in it, but I know that a lot of people watch it.
Solid.
But it's like, yeah, just stuff like that. Denzel Washington's one of my favorite actors for sure, and everything. And it's just like, he just does something where it's just like, it's Denzel, but it's like, at the same time, he puts such a spin to these characters that is like, especially with the Malcolm X character, you knew it was Malcolm X at the same time. Which is gonna do crazy in this new Gladiator movie. I know you saw the trailer. Yeah, because you see Deadpool.
I
Yeah,
see that one.
I gotta see it. It's so crazy. Like Russell Crowe was the main character in the first movie, and now they got Denzel Washington as a villain in this. I gotta see how it's gonna go down and everything. But back to you though, in regards to like just with modeling and acting and just the day and the pros and cons that come with that. It's just like, so in regards to like your modeling career and how far that it's gone so far and everything. What are some like what's the word? I want to say goals. What are some things you're trying to hit in terms of like goals as a model? First,
I would say my big thing is getting. I would say a lot of brand shoots, branding model, editorial shoots. That's been just loading. That's been coming as it go. I would like more athletic branding too.
okay, I can see
do
that.
Right now, I've been figuring myself out with the runway situation.
Oh, okay.
Seeing if that's a goal of mine to walk a lot of runway. Because for right now, I really do prefer shoots.
Oh, okay. And you never done a runway
Branded
before?
shoots. No, I've always like I said, literally whole life. So it's like I'm used to runways.
Oh, okay.
And doing the runways, but now intentionally, like I said, now runways is on a way bigger scale. When we talk about like modeling, like going up to New York and LA and all that.
Oh.
Those type of runway shows is a little different. It's a little different. So yeah, really right now it's been editorial shoots. My runway goal, I hit that for how many shows I'm walking. So I guess go for more this coming up year to get more experience out there, see how I like that. But yeah, man.
Okay. And it's just like in regards to like, pros and cons, like what are some things that kind of stress you out about being a model?
The part where it's like you're always kind of on your brand as a model. So there's not really like once you like kind of put that out there, it's kind of just always there now. And so you don't know when you're getting hit for a shoot, getting this done. So it's like you gotta make sure that you can't be looking any type of way. So it's like you literally have to go make sure you always keep yourself up, like to a good extent. And then it makes you kind of want to be lazy a lot of the time. Like a lot of times you're gonna catch me in some sweatpants, a shirt, or some sweat shorts. That's what I want to be in. But like even as I like talk to a lot of my stylists and all of that, like that's a part of my brand where it is something where I'm gonna have to intentionally like work on. Okay, yeah, I gotta get fresh. I gotta go put that shit on. Just because of my brand. Because a lot of times when I do have that shit on, like once again, it's a networking opportunity that happens right in front of my eyes. Because it's not really like a blueprint for this. It's kind of like you have to find your own way.
Okay.
Find your own way. So
Okay.
I'd say that's definitely one of the things. Always being self-conscious about how I'm projecting to others to make sure that it's appeasing for the shoots.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Like, I've done a couple shoots myself. I think, when was the last time I did a shoot? It was the last time I actually did a photo shoot was for my first mixtape, Eco Trip. I don't know if you saw the one was like in black and white and everything. That one girl and everything. Yeah, so it's just like that was back in 2021. It's been some years though, for real. And then it's just like for me, I really go more of like street clothes and everything. When I did a photo shoot in 2020, like when I did, it was like I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt like this for one to shoot, and then I did wore like two jerseys. One was like a Timberwolves one, and then I was in the park, and the other one was a Charlotte Hornets one, near Darby Acres on East Side and everything. So it's just like, I can really go more for like the street clothes type, casual type stuff and everything. I just when I go for modeling, it's mostly just to create content for like possible covers I could possibly use like a mixtape. Like even a lot of the pictures I took like years ago, I'm thinking about still using it like for my next project. So it's just stuff like that. Oh my goodness, what is over here? The fuck? But it's like just stuff like that. That's really like my focus when it comes to modeling. It's just I don't want to be no runaway model, but I do consider like maybe one day starting a clothing line eventually. So it's like kind of have to get in that that seat of like the muse and everything, as well as just really understanding lighting and like the importance of like what expressions that you show and what it's going to convey to an audience, whether you're trying to sell something or you're trying to bring attention to something. The whole focus is really just to establish an image to carry of some sort of vibe, or for the audience to focus on. It's like, okay, he's wearing street clothes. Right. So I'm thinking like, okay, street clothes, what would this connect to? So okay, I'm trying to do it for like a mixtape. Okay, so like you may be thinking like maybe like a hip hop vibe. It's like, okay, like they already get like some impression. It builds that first impression to like some type of product. So it's like, so modeling is, I can understand modeling's like importance to that degree. Right. And it's just back to you in regards to like your experiences with acting. What are your experiences in regards to acting so far?
So far I've just done a couple music videos.
Okay, music videos.
I did pop out of some friends' music videos, stuff like that. And then I went to an acting class. That was dope. Oh. That was really dope.
You had to pay for it?
Yeah, I did.
How much you had to pay?
It was like 50.
50?
I think it was. Yeah, like 50 or something like that. And I loved it. Like I actually did really enjoy that. Just to get some like training under my resume.
Yes.
And then after that, it was just like, I've been in YouTube videos, but I wouldn't really consider it acting.
I mean, you mean the 20 versus 1 was the 8 versus 1?
And then some other ones. But like that, and then on top of that, yeah, that's really that part. Because acting, like I said, it's been something that a lot of opportunities been coming up. Where it's like, okay, I could do this little issue. But modeling has been the main factor. It's just something that comes with it, though. Like I said, because that was something early on. Even getting asked, like I said, you start modeling for music videos, all that. Well, am I a male vixen? Am I low-key a male vixen?
I mean, hey, you said it. Let's not put a trademark on male vixen, please. Oh, my God. Mental Thugs Podcast had nothing to do with that.
No, that's been more appeased. Like I said, I'm young. So it's like, I just started acting at like 30, like getting in the heavy film. So I'm like literally just letting it ride out.
Yeah, seriously. Like
but
in your
20s, putting it out
because
it's like I already feel it.
In your 20s, you just got to make the most out of it, especially creative, because you don't know, like, in your 20s, this is like the make it or break it type era, and it's like, now I'm 26, I turn 27 next year, and then it's 28, and then 29, and then poof. Not saying, like, that's going to be it, but it's like, you should set up some type of foundation if you want to go into a career of that field, or whatever. In regards to the work and life balance, I know you currently stay with a Compass Group and everything. What is your role with Compass Group?
I do my daytime.
Yeah, your daytime. Just to kind of balance it out.
Doing project management. I like it.
I'm so envious.
Project coordinating, if you will.
I be doing service professional stuff.
It's just, hey,
it's not.
It is what it is. I enjoy it for the meantime. I've been blessed, I'd say. Even just going through that whole portion, like career during the day. I love it. It's been great balance. Like I said, the skills that it offers is skills that has helped me within my other endeavors of setting up, especially because it's like you're your own boss of that.
Yeah.
That whole journey of being a creative, there's not a formula.
No, there isn't
for anybody.
There really
there's people
isn't.
that can put out 3,000 mixtapes and it never goes, and there's people that can put out 3 in the third hit.
Or put one song over like a meme type beat.
They can make one song. This was my first song recorded in the studio, goes
Viral.
So it's just like there's literally no sauce to this.
There
Same
really
thing
is,
even
man.
with modeling, acting. Like I said, there's people that I've seen studied popping about 35. That's when they started acting. Like their big hits 31 and 40.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm now adjusting myself to the lifestyle and the opportunities and the networking that happens along that. That's bringing me to that. Because like I said, even when I said putting out the intention, I'm saying I'm going to intentionally model, took me all the way here to the fact where modeling has assisted me to pay bills.
Oh, really?
That's a whole nother situation where it's like you're seeing something that you enjoy, that's a creative endeavor, and you're able to really like eat off of it. That's something that like it wakes you up as a creative even more. Where you're like, whoa, okay, I have something here. Even if it didn't, it's still gonna make me like I felt great doing it. But it's just like I came for a purpose, and it's a business too. So it's just like for that to start adding up, I'm like, okay, this is I took the right mission. And like I said, it's work. Like I'm gonna have to train like a professional athlete. You know, talk about being supermodel, all that. Like there's things that come with it, dieting, all that type of stuff. Care, making sure that you got this done, all this stuff.
But there's a lot that you can gain from it, though. Even from the experiences as a whole, you get to meet all types of amazing people and everything. It's really just, I feel like between what you're creating and everything, it's really just trying to find a balance between, you know, okay, I'm going to work to fund this project and everything, but in between, you know, just, you know, kick it, you know, smoke a blunt, go out for a run, you know, read a book, do whatever you can in between to really maintain your sanity between, you know, creating and then just working to fund something that you create and everything. And that's just so crazy. You know, I hate that we're getting close to like an hour because I feel like we could have stretched like 2 hours just talking about all this together and everything, but we have to seriously wrap this up. We're definitely gonna have to do like another follow-up episode for sure. It's definitely it's not nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. That's how you know it's like a good episode because we're able to just bounce off on each other and everything, you know. But it's just like, you know, looking into future projects, whether if it comes to acting or modeling, or what are we as the audience, you know, going to look forward to? Do you know off the top of your head?
Look for some more editorial work. Look for some dope collabs. Like you said, I've been working with some dope models also that's coming up. So gonna have definitely some collabs over there. Fashion show today at Real African Art. It doesn't matter because this is not gonna come out at the same time.
It's not.
But follow me at Germ Zion and you'll see, you know, if there's a show or something that I'm walking in that's coming up, I'll put it up. And the work resides there. So enjoy.
For sure. All right, that's it for the Mental Threads podcast. We're getting close to the end of the Mental Threads podcast. I just want to say thank you very much to everybody. Thank you very much to you, Jeremy, for hopping on. Jerry Washington, Jeremy Zion, and everything. I just want to just say, like, I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing in regards to modeling, acting, just kind of stepping out your shell and, you know, just balancing in between work and everything all together. Although we don't see each other as much as I wish we would and everything, I just really love that you were able to actually take some time out of your day to actually pull up and everything for like my podcast and everything. It really means the world and everything because it just feels okay no matter how far we are from each other or how long, you know, between like, you know, meeting each other and everything, you know, it's all the same, you know, no matter how old we get or whatever. It's just like the good old days and everything. So yeah, I want to just say thank you, my brother, my Liberian brother. Just want to point that out. We're both Liberian. Gotta come to the field, man. Seriously, gotta taste that food. All right. Just want to say we're sewing in and we're sewing. I got any other last words?
No, I appreciate you for having me. Like gratitude for the Mental Threads podcast. Gratitude to you for having me. I'm literally told you like I'm excited. I'm proud of how far you've come to this point. It's beautiful to see. So I'm excited to see even what's in store.
Most definitely. That's what he says. What he said. All right, that's it for the Mental Threads podcast. We're sewing in and we're sewing out. I just feel about that.